Now, let's bring you the story. South Africa has signed its first agriculture master plan. It's an agriculture and agro-processing master plan with the aim of growing the sector's output. Last year, the agricultural, fishing industry and forestry industries managing to add a value worth 129 billion rand to the economy. Now, this master plan aims for 25% of growth to that value by 2030. But not everybody is happy with the master plan. Bennie Van Zyl, General Manager of the Transvaal Agricultural Union of South Africa, is one of those who are not impressed. And I also have Malapane Thamaga from the African Farmers Association of South Africa, who were not impressed initially, but somehow looks like they reached consensus with the government about this. They are joining me now. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to today here on eNCA. First up, Malapane, let me start with you. You were not happy, I understand, and then there was some last-minute engagement where there was a consensus. Then you've signed this master plan. Very briefly, what changed your mind?
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon. So in the past 2 weeks, we've really had, intensive engagements as AFASA to interrogate the master plan. I must say that we were caught by surprise that in 2 weeks' time, we have to sign the master plan. In this engagement, what really worried us was the issue around transformation, in a sense that we could see that there are a lot of
That's a pity there. We're going to have to go back to Malapane there. Let me bring I've got Bennie. Are you back, Malapane? Are you back with us?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know if you're able to hear me and to what extent you are able to, but if I may continue, the point I was raising earlier on was that we could see all these targets that were put in the master plan, but what was missing was around are they going to bring in black farmers into the participation of the mainstream agricultural sector. But not only that, throughout the value chain, if you look at the players beyond the gate or in the input side of the agricultural sector, you can hardly see black players in that space. So those were our real concern, from land to issues of water to issues that relate to transformation in the value chain, as well as how we're going to see to it that whatever that is in the plan is financed, given the state of the land bank.
Okay, Bennie Van Zyl, let me bring you up. Good afternoon as well. Now, you as TLUSA are not happy with this plan. You have not signed off on the plan, and you said that those who are signing off on the plan are not necessarily primary farmers, and you are convinced that if you sign as TLUSA, you're going to be abandoning every commercial farmer in the country, black and white. Why?
Yeah, thank you, and Dan, for the opportunity. When we talk about agriculture, it's about an economic process, and it should be profitable to be sustainable. And until now, if you look into the way the government has run their land distribution processes, by their own admittance, 95% of that land go out of production. And in that regard, we already in 2005, and after that, quite often made proposals. How can we help new entry farmers to be a farmer if they actually accept the responsibility, what it entails to be a farmer? We in South Africa don't have so many good agricultural land comparing to other countries in the world. And therefore, we have to make sure that we use our land correctly. We don't have any problem with farmers, if it's man, woman, black, white. That's not the issue. We need successful farmers. And therefore, we need a policy environment that gives them the opportunity that they can actually be a successful farmer. And at the end of the day, and that's a very important point I want to make now, that the market principles will be the decisive mechanism if you are successful or not. And if you apply correctly to those principles, you will have success and you will be there next year. But if you do it wrongly, then the market will throw you off. And that's something that no one can change. And we want to make sure that new entry farmers have an opportunity to make success. We have already 68% of our population that is urbanized, and therefore it's crucial that we have a successful commercial agricultural sector, black and white. And that is what we're striving to. We cannot make it an ideological game. We should make it an economic game.
What I hear is that it is not an ideological game. Malapane, you are concerned about inclusion. Am I wrong? From your side, you thought that the master plan does not go far enough in terms of transformation, among other aspects. Malapane?
You're 100% correct. If you look closely into the master plan, even though the minister was able to assure us about some of the silent areas in the master plan, hence there had to be some sort of a meeting prior to the signing to be assured really about the areas that we were concerned about. We were concerned mainly about 7 key areas, and amongst others is the issue of land. Since 1994, the number of land that has been transferred into black farmers has not been adequate. Even those who are beneficiaries of land, they are yet to have the title deeds. And if you look closely, you cannot speak about land reform without talking about water reform. On the water reform issue, you realize that even 95% of the water licenses are still lying in the hands of the white commercial farmers. Now, how do you expect the new entrants into the agriculture sector to succeed if the land reform is not accompanied by water licenses as well as finance? If you look at the finance issue, the land bank, we don't even know what is happening within the land bank. And as a matter of fact, as a FASA, we are calling for an inquiry, a commission of inquiry into the land bank so that we are able to understand what is happening within the land bank. Even when it was operational, you could sense that the people who are still benefiting from the land bank, be it as a development bank, are still the white commercial farmers when it's supposed to be geared towards development. But you look towards the value chain as well. Remember, every product you produce, it has to go along the value chain, even from support point of view. Who is supporting you? And in most cases, you realize black players are lacking in that space. And as a result, you are sitting with the product, you don't know where to take them to. So the procurement, when it comes to the marketing side, it's also quite lacking.
Okay, Malapane, we don't have a lot of time. Sorry to cut you in there. Let me bring you to Bennie. Yesterday, I interviewed the minister, Togo Didiza, after the signing here, and she came across saying, I'm paraphrasing, that they are going to continue to engage with everybody, including those who've criticized the plan, those who have not signed, like yourselves, as the TLUSA. What will make you sign? Because this is supposed to be an inclusive master plan covering everybody, black and white farmers, small and big.
It's not so simplistic to say what will actually put us in a position to sign. I think there's a lot of things that we have to clarify. Way back in 21st of May 2021, we have sent a letter to the person that facilitated this whole process, Professor Mzukobo, and we have a very good relation with him, and thanks for that, asking specific questions that should be clarified. The one thing for sure is, what exactly do we mean by transformation? Because there's a lot of economic pillars in this master plan, good pillars. We agree upon those, and building infrastructure, and we can go on and on. That's not our problem. But then all of them will be there after we apply transformation. Now, we have to get a definition for that and a lot of other stuff. So we have to interact with that. And our feedback at this stage is that Professor Mzukobo mentioned to us that he is now finished with the process, and after this we have to engage with the minister herself. We have already today sent a letter to the minister to make an appointment, not only about this issue, but other issues as well, and that we would like to discuss with her. So yes, we wait for the minister for an appointment so that we can take these issues further and get clarification on those issues that we are quite convinced will not be for the benefit of any farmer, black and white, because it's not economic driven. And that is what we strive to. If it's not an economic driven plan, at the end of the day, the market principles will block you, you will stop you, you will go bankrupt. And we have to make sure that your new entry farmers make a success, because we cannot play around with the available land in our country. We need need food security.
So,
and therefore we have to make sure that they're successful farmers. And we don't want to make it a race issue. We want to make it a success issue.
okay, Bennie, you want to know what is transformation. That's what you want to unpack further. That might make you change your mind. But Malapane, what's your view there? You can hear the TLUSA. I'm not asking you to resolve their issues. But if he asked you what is transformation, how would you answer? You represent the African Farmers Association. What did you say to Bennie?
So the easiest way to get to the answer, and this takes us to the seventh point that we mentioned in the key areas that we're worried about, into how are we going to measure the success of the master plan. And one of the things that we're calling as a FASA is the transformation barometer. So if you look on the output side in terms of the agricultural product in South Africa, only about less than 5% is from black farmers. Mind you, we are in majority in this country, and that tells you a different story. So if 95% of the agricultural product is produced by white commercial farmers, and you only have 5% produced by black, if anything, transformation will be, the other way around, because black people are in majority. So anything that speaks about target of output from black farmers to around 40% as a start, by 2030, will be something that speaks to transformation.
Okay.
And if we can see to it that as a country we get to such targets, then we will be saying that at least we are moving towards
Malapane, thank you.
The areas that we're interested
Thanks for giving Bennie. Bennie, you heard him. I'm not going to ask for the discussion now. We've come to the end of the... I just wanted... Bennie was raising the point from a TLUSA to say they want to engage with the minister to say, what do you mean by transformation? And thankfully, Malapane, you've given him an idea what you mean by transformation as the African Farmers Association of South Africa. Thank you, gentlemen. That's Malapane Thamaga from the African Farmers Association of South Africa, and Bennie Van Zyl, General Manager of the Transvaal Agriculture Union of South Africa, giving us their views after the signing yesterday by several role players in agriculture of the new agriculture and agro-processing master plan. I interviewed Minister Togo Tidiza yesterday about it. Now, TLUSA has not signed. They want more clarification what it means in this sector, what transformation means in this sector. And the African Farmers Association of South Africa have signed it after reluctantly agreeing to do so because they are concerned that the document does not go far enough in terms of transformation outcomes. We'll have to watch this space and see how this master plan will unfold into the future.